Right. Letters.
Let's get started.
Real people, real answers in real time. Select Health. Insurance made simple. Learn more at selecthealth.org.
Ready to find the right candidates for your job posting? Indeed's Sponsor Jobs helps you connect with talent that actually matches what you're looking for. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
I got some tough trash talk from some CU fans on the way out of the stadium.
On the way out?
Yeah, they were not too happy with Colorado losing. So
I wouldn't be either.
As expected, somewhat. Right. But yeah, there was some pretty rude comments I got.
Ooh.
And to that I say, what did you expect from CU? You're 3-7 going into that game.
Yeah.
But either way, had a great time at the game. It was a little chilly, but it was good to see a Sun Devil win. It's good to see some friends, too, that I haven't seen in a while. So, good weekend. How about yourself?
Yeah, it was good. Low-key without the Broncos, without game day, without post-game. Just kind of watched a bunch of NFL and hung out. The boys were at friends Saturday night into Sunday, so it was a slumber party, as it goes. So it was a quiet weekend at our house. We have some things to talk about. Broncos taking center stage, I should say. Front and center, also the NFL weekend and some of the things just to clean up and give some thoughts to. But as you look around the NFL, my friend, did you have any strong impressions about what you saw yesterday as it could relate to the Broncos? And you know what I'm sort of alluding to, but not totally alluding to the Chiefs and Colts game. But was there anything you came away with and said, I see the Broncos in maybe a little different light, for better or worse, because of whatever you're thinking of? I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good. The Chiefs, them staying alive in the playoff races, they really needed that one. Maybe not as impressive of a game from them as I was looking forward to, or maybe the Colts impressed me more than I originally thought of that team. I thought they were kind of pretenders with their record, but that was a game Kansas City needed. The game was in Kansas City. That place can get rocking. It's probably a top 5 NFL home field advantage. I think that's fair to say about that team. And the Colts pushed them to overtime. The Chiefs, still were able to get it done, so still alive there. So I think the Colts are a little bit better than I expected. And, you still got to watch behind your shoulder here for that Chiefs team coming behind. I don't think they're going to win the division by any means, but that could certainly be a wild card team, and maybe a wild card team that the Broncos have to play in the first round.
Yeah, and we talked about it Friday. We're not going to go deep dive into it again, but I still don't understand why with the schedule the Colts have, and the Colts are more of a team that has to prove it to me than the Chiefs are, even though the Chiefs haven't played great football for a lot of the year, and they've lost close games that they were winning last year. That's still a team that until they're out, no, I don't want any part of Kansas City. Not that I'm scared. I just would rather play a team like the Colts in the playoffs if it came down to that. I don't know if it will. But if it came down to it, Dante, I would rather play the Colts than the Chiefs in the playoffs. Because if the Chiefs get to the playoffs, it means they've been finding ways to win down the stretch, because that's the position they put themselves in. to this point. But we'll see how it works out. What are your impressions about, as we think about the number one seed possibility for the Broncos, about the Patriots now, who technically have the lead at 10-2, but if the Broncos win out, the Broncos are going to be the number one seed. So where do you stand on New England?
I think it's hard for me to envision the Broncos winning out. I
agree with that.
I think that the 15-2 record would not be reserved for a team like this Broncos team. I think the Broncos have performed really well this year. I think their defense is elite, but 15-2, that would be one of the better regular seasons in the NFL, probably in history at that point. So I find it hard to imagine them going 15-2. I think they'll slip up at some point down the road here. So I think it still absolutely should be the goal for the Broncos to win out, get that one seed. But Patriots didn't look great either. They had a pretty tight game against Cincinnati on Sunday too. So it's not like the Patriots are world beaters. The AFC, to me, it's kind of what I've been saying the last couple of weeks. It's open. It's going to be a bloodbath in the playoffs when it comes to the Ravens getting a hold of that division. I think that's something to look out for too. They could be pretty scary as a division winner and a potential second round matchup for this Broncos team. I don't think that's the kind of team you want to be facing. Lamar Jackson, a lot of playoff monkeys to get off his back, and turn that narrative around about himself. Not quite the team I'd be looking for, but I don't think there is going to be an easy path for this Broncos team in the playoffs regardless. So, if you can even minimize that by one less game in the playoffs, and that means getting that one seed, I think that'd be huge for them, because to me, it's going to be a bunch of 50-50 games, and if you're going to, improve your odds drastically if you're already into that divisional weekend.
Yeah, I don't think the Patriots are going to win out either. And I agree. I don't think the Broncos will. I don't think New England will. They are home to the Giants in what I think is an interesting game a week from tonight. And then they're home to Buffalo. That game could mean a ton for the Bills. Could mean a lot to New England as well for the number one seed race. At Baltimore on the 21st, at the Jets on the 28th, and then that first weekend in January, the game against Miami. Now, I wouldn't expect the Dolphins to be in anything. They could have been, getting the golf clubs ready. However, and there's always a however in life, Dolphins maybe they're an interesting team. I'll at least put it that way.
And on top of that, they have a pretty easy schedule here coming up. Already winners of 2 in a row. They're hosting the Saints and then at the Jets. 2 winnable games at that point. They could be, 4 in a row at that point. 6 and 7 could be in the mix for the AFC wild card too. So even the Dolphins aren't quite out of it.
No, they're 4 and 7, so they are clearly on the bottom portion of the hill, trying to make the long trek up to the postseason. We'll see. I guess I just don't know in terms of. Could the Dolphins potentially be motivated and give the Patriots a game on the road in that final weekend? I don't know. I wouldn't expect it, but stranger things have happened. So I don't think the Pats are going to win out. I don't think the Broncos are going to win out. Baltimore is surging, so that game between the Patriots and Ravens could be a very interesting one. But we know that the NFL, and I say the NFL right now, is wide open when it comes to the race for the Super Bowl. No? Are you going to offer something different?
Did you see that Rams team last night?
I saw it's still a wide open race.
It's early, but I think the Rams have to be an early favorite. And it's not that early. We're getting to the end of November here,
It's
Mike.
getting early late. It's getting late early.
Exactly.
Got to get it right. But, okay, so let me amend. I'll give you the Rams because I was thinking the same thing watching that game. Stafford is just on an absolute heater right now. In the AFC, I would say it's pretty wide open, especially the way the standings shake out right now. And why can't the Broncos be there? And the main reason that I hear just from friends and talk, listening to people around the country in the market, the predominant reason I hear, Dante, is because I don't believe in them, especially offensively. Now, on the one hand, that's fair. I'm not sure they've been consistent enough to make everybody a believer. I get that. But you look at every team in the AFC, and there's issues. You could point to something. And so why can't the Broncos be a team that makes a deep run in the playoffs. And I know some people have been saying that longer than others. I get it. But we're at the point now where there's a third of the season left, thereabouts. And I think they can be. I think they can be a team that makes a deep run. Health is going to factor in. Bounce of the ball is going to factor in. But how teams play are going to factor in. And the way the defense is playing, I think there's room for the offense to even build off what they did against Kansas City. I think the Broncos are in great shape. Why can't they be one of those teams? They can. I believe.
I agree. I think the running game is going to catch up to them. We had Cecil say that stat on the drive during crosstalk. I want to say it was last week, about every Super Bowl contender has X amount of rushing yards, and I find it hard to see where those rushing yards are going to come from. And it feels like come playoff time, you need to be able to run the ball because these defenses are queued up. They have a full regular season of games to watch film on. They know your tendencies. They know what your capabilities are as a quarterback, and Bo Nix too. So that's going to be putting a lot on Bo's shoulders. And, if we're being honest, Bo hasn't really been the most consistent version of himself this year. So if you're asking Bo to go out and win 3 or 4 games in a row, and it's going to be a lot on him winning those games. Obviously, the defense is going to play a big factor too, but you need to score points, and the running game is not going to be a huge help to him. I think that could be a big question mark I have, at least for this Broncos team.
RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043 from the 1945. I'm more afraid of Jonathan Taylor in the playoffs than Mahomes right now. Interesting. It does make me pause because saying you're more afraid of Taylor than Mahomes is a big statement to me. As of right now and how the teams are playing, I am not more afraid of the Colts in the playoffs than the Chiefs. Are you? I would feel better. Let me flip it to the positive. I would feel better about a Broncos matchup with Indy than I would with KC.
I would agree. I think Indy is, a great regular season team. I've compared them to the Vikings of last year with Sam Darnold, where, hey, I need to see you do this in a big game, in a playoff game, talking about Daniel Jones here, before I'm scared of a playoff game against the Colts. So I think you've seen the history and the track record of Patrick Mahomes in big games, in playoff games, throwing Andy Reid to that, and just a great defense Kansas City has as well. Connected defense that's been together for many years. That's not something I would want to play with.
No, I wouldn't. I have so much respect for what the Chiefs have been, and there's an element, again, as we sit here tonight after 11 games, that the Colts have to show me more. They just do. And this is a good point from the 9519 on the RamosLaw.com text line. The Chiefs, or I thought the Colts looked like trash against KC and will lose 2 to 3 more games. Brutal schedule. See, I agree with that. This is a gauntlet now that I believe, a pseudo gauntlet. The Colts have to play Houston twice, once at home this coming Sunday, and then they close the year in early January at Houston. I don't see the Colts winning that game right now, but again, we're 6 weeks out. They got to go to Jacksonville on December 7th, home to Jacksonville on the 28th, and in between they go to Seattle and host San Francisco. That's a very difficult 6-game stretch for Indy, and if they run the table on that, then I will gladly proclaim them the favorite to go to, if not win, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard for me to call them pretenders at that point if they're able to overcome that schedule.
Sure.
I believe it would be the Jags twice, Houston twice, and then 2 of the better teams in the NFC is Seattle and San Francisco. So great for them if they're able to do that. I would be very surprised if that is the result for this team. So to me, I'm with you. I think the Broncos, in terms of trying to look for that number 1 seed, should be looking more at the New England Patriots scoreboard, watching their games going forward here. They have a much lighter schedule to finish.
Yeah. The Broncos, when you talk, and you mentioned it, and I heard Zach and Phil sort of frame it this way, and I liked it. What is the biggest concern that you have? Again, not to be negative, but to say you're going to go to the Super Bowl, you have to be as complete of a team as you can be. That's not saying a lot. I get it. We all know that. And Every team in the AFC has an area or areas that you could point to and say, I'm not sure. It might be different. The degree might be different depending on the person that's looking at it, but there's no perfect team in the AFC. I'm not sure there's one in the NFC, but the Rams are, especially at home, they're really good at home and good on the road too. But keeping it in the AFC, you mentioned the running game. Is that it for you?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I mean, you can kind of connect that to the entire offense at that point, where a defense is going to make the running game beat them and make it really difficult on Bo Nix. But yeah, the running game, and once the weather turns, I think that's going to be a huge aspect of this Broncos team that I'm not sure they're going to be able to get the job done on the ground with just R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Bidet. So that whether that means Bo Nix running the ball more or more screen passes, which I know Broncos country is a little fed up with as far as Sean Payton's play calling goes. So I think you're going to have some way to offset the absence of J.K. Dobbins. I'm not really sure what that answer is. If I did, I'd be a coach for the Broncos at this point. So I'm interested to see how Sean Payton is able to overcome that.
Well, when it comes to the running game, we know that the Broncos were in on Dameon Pierce, kind of the bruising inside type of runner that the Texans cut, and yet he goes, and there were other teams involved too, according to the reporting of our insider, Mike Kliss of 9 News. I wouldn't have minded at all seeing the Broncos lock up Pierce. That didn't happen. Let me just toss out another couple of names. Now, these are guys on the street, so I say this not thinking that any player is going to come in and make an impact, because they're looking for jobs for a reason. And it's unrealistic to think that some guy off the street is going to come in. Even with another team, it'd be a stretch. But Pierce, of course, was let go by Houston. But here are a couple names. Gus Edwards, former Charger, is out there. Zach Moss is out there. Jamal Williams is out there. Deonta Foreman out there. Ezekiel Elliott is out there. Again, it's not which of these guys could come in and be the RB1. It's could any of these guys provide an addition to the running back room that either the Broncos are lacking, that they want to strengthen. And that was the point of the interest in Pierce. He wouldn't have come in and been J.K. Dobbins 2.0, but he could have provided an element of physicality, of toughness, of some of the things that are now lacking in that Broncos running back room. Do you think, number one, that they will go after a guy in the street or perhaps somebody off of another team's practice squad? Or two, do you want to see them do that?
I think they will go after them. I don't know if that means they're going to be signed to the active roster right away. Maybe it's they work them out, or they have them on the practice squad and see where things go. But I fully expect that to happen, especially with the Mike Kliss coming out and saying how in they were on Dameon Pierce here. Yep. So I expect them to make a move if they were that interested in Pierce. I don't know which one exactly. I would say not Zeke, probably. I think Zeke maybe a little over the hill at this point. There is no great options, and you pointed that out. That's why they are not on an NFL roster at the moment. Jamal Williams interests me a little bit. He was pretty productive in his past. Seems like a great locker room guy as well from all the interviews you see from him. So I think that could be interesting. I believe he was a Saint at one point. I don't think he was there when Sean Payton was there, but maybe some sort of connection to that. But I think they need to add to the room, whether it's, just a depth piece in case, Tyler Bidet goes down, or any of the three really could go down. Then you really are thin at running back, and you already are pretty thin. So I don't know if they're going to be a huge contributor, but I think you need to at least have some reassurance that there's a fourth guy you could turn to in the event someone gets hurt or their room's just not producing enough, and you need to add someone else to the mix.
And one element that the Broncos have is they could tell one of these guys, if they really want one enough, they could say, look, there's an opportunity for you to contribute right away. You're not necessarily locked into the practice squad, which made the Pierce move so curious to me from his perspective. He just clearly, I think, felt that either in the short term or the longer term, or maybe it was just belief in what the Chiefs have done in the postseason over the last 7-8 years, that was a better situation. And I heard Cecil float this earlier, and I think it's imminently possible that maybe the Chiefs just tossed a boatload of cash at Dameon Pierce because it's like they didn't want the Broncos to sign him. I think it's possible. I mean, teams do kind of crazy things. It's like, hey, we want you around, we believe in you, but secretly they're thinking we don't want that team west of us to get another piece.
Yeah, if I was the Chiefs, I would be thinking the same thing.
Absolutely.
This could be a guy that could contribute to the Broncos. We already know the Broncos are most likely going to be a playoff team, probably division winner here, and a real contender in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl, represent the AFC. I think Dameon Pierce could be a big part of that. And his role in Kansas City is probably going to be smaller than it would have been here in Denver. Kansas City already has Kareem Hunt, who's been running the ball okay. Pacheco is going to come back from injury most likely at some point here too. So I don't know if there's a huge role for Pierce in Kansas City. So I think it could be one of the two. Maybe they threw a lot of money at him, or maybe he just thinks, hey, this could be my chance to go out and win a Super Bowl ring.
On the RamosLaw.com text line from the 2014, do you feel it's scheme or personnel? I don't feel like we, the Broncos, have a good 7 to 8 yard play if you need it, but other teams seem to have it. I don't know. I mean, I get the point, and to me the question speaks to consistency, and certainly there have been times in large chunks of games, as we all know, where the Broncos offense, can't find its way out of a paper bag. There's a lot of struggles to be even approaching mediocre. But then when they have to get production, Dante, they've been able to produce at times at historic levels. So I understand the spirit of the text, but when you look at the end result, it's hard to say that the Broncos offense has been terrible because they've been able to find a way to do enough to win 9 games. Now, we know that that's not the whole story. There are elements to the story. There are chapters, if you will. There are reasons. But when they've needed to score points in the fourth quarter, they've been able to score points in the fourth quarter. That's a great trait to have.
Arguably the most important trait. Obviously, you want to score throughout the game, but if you can score when it matters the most, and that's what Bo Nix and the Broncos offense has done this season, I think that's going to come around very, big in the playoffs or down the stretch when you need those games that are almost like playoff games in terms of, getting into the dance. So, I don't think they're any worse in that scenario than a lot of offenses. Obviously, Bo Nix is a little more inexperienced compared to a guy like Matthew Stafford, who last night we saw, light it up for the Rams. All season is basically, lit it up for the Rams. So, obviously, he's not at that level yet, but I think, that down in distance that the texter message mentions too, I think that's good. Bo Nix running the ball distance too, where if everything breaks down, you still have his legs as a threat. That's great. Cortland Sutton distance as well. Very reliable receiver. I just don't think they've really gone to Sutton as much as they should, and it's probably as much as that I imagine they will down the stretch here as they head towards the playoffs.
I want to address the defense real quick in our last minute or so in this segment. And I was the first. I was one of many. Everybody lamented how the defense, was leaking oil down the stretch last year and was just not very good in the final month of the season, struggled in Buffalo and all the rest. I do not believe that will be the case this year. Will they continue to play at this level? I don't know. I mean, I would hope so. They've shown they can do it. But here are a couple quick reasons, Dante. Number one, 2 new guys who are healthy and playing well. You have Hufanga in the secondary, who is an absolute beast and a presence against the run and the pass. Didn't have him last year, and they didn't have Dre Greenlaw last year. And knock on wood, however you dispel superstitions, do that now, because Dre Greenlaw in the lineup is a very good thing for that Broncos D.
Yes, I completely agree. That was going to be my main reason as well. Those 2 guys, Hufanga and Greenlaw, just the intensity that they play with, the track record they have of excelling in San Francisco. And San Francisco is a team that's in the playoffs and, in the NFC Championship year in and year out. So I don't think they would allow it to happen. And I think this Broncos defense was pretty upset with themselves with how they finished down the stretch. I think they still have that in the back of their head of, we're not going to let that happen this year.
Well, what's going to happen with a couple of college football teams in the area? Not good news for the Buffs, not good news for the Rams once again over the weekend. We'll discuss both next on Denver Sports Tonight.
Would anything short of a title feel like a disappointment for the Nuggets and Avalanche this season?
Yes, it's championship bust for both of them. I mean, look at the Nuggets and the moves they made. They've improved. And to just say, like, win a couple playoff games. No, I don't think so. Not with these two groups and not what we've seen them do.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Happy holidays from Done Right Home Improvements. Putting off that home makeover till after the holidays? Well, good, because book your project now for install after and save 16% or get a great financing deal. drhi.com.
At 303 Law 4040, we know getting into an accident stinks, and so does getting worked over by the insurance company or even your slick-talking made-for-TV lawyer. So if we can help, just give us a call. 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. That's 303 Law 4040.
Your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks.
Hey guys, feeling cooped up this winter? Mark Schlereth here. You know these Colorado nights can get freezing cold with your furnace running non-stop just to keep things cozy. But here's the thing. While your heating system is working overtime, it's also blowing dust, dirt, and debris through your air ducts and straight into the air you breathe. That's where Ductworks comes in. Your trusted air duct cleaning experts. Using a powerful combination of scraping and vacuuming technology, the Ductworks team clears out years of buildup, grime, and other gunk hiding in your ductwork. The results? Cleaner, fresher air, better energy efficiency, and a healthier home or office for you and your family. Don't wait until spring. Breathe easier now with top-rated service from Ductworks. Call them at 303-425-0985 or visit them online today at ductworks.com for a free residential or commercial estimate.
303-425-0985.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Guys, don't propose with a ring that she didn't pick out. Trust us, she already has a ring in mind. So engage with Gage Diamonds, in person or online, where Gage's skilled ring designers will work with her to create the perfect setting, matched with the perfect stone. Gage specializes in exquisite lab-grown diamonds. Financing available. GageDiamonds.com, where engagement's middle name.
I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Visit our Denver Clearance Center during our Black Friday sale going on now. Save up to 75% on name brand appliances like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, GE and Bosch. With unbeatable prices on top quality appliances, now is the perfect time to upgrade your home. Don't miss out on these exclusive deals. Visit us today at the Denver Clearance Center. When you think appliances, think Mountain High Appliance. Open 7 days a week.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you. The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3, The Fan.
This holiday, imagine the finest jewelry legends all in a store where they treat you like family.
Decory, Hearts on Fire, Gabriel and Company, Lika Bahar, and dozens more, all in one store.
Imagine a diamond bar with almost every size, shape, and price range GIA diamond.
And all the top bridal designers, including A. Jaffe, Parade, and Decory.
Add to that Tag Heuer watches and our curated pre-owned Rolex timepieces. And we've got something for everyone you love. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Michelle's dad, Bruce Williams, inviting you to Williams Jewelers. We've built Denver's most trusted family-owned jeweler with one vision.
To be your family's jeweler for life.
For that perfect diamond engagement ring.
The ultimate holiday gift.
Or just because you deserve it. Williams Jewelers in beautiful Cherry Creek North.
Now, imagine their face Christmas morning.
This holiday, come to Williams Jewelers.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
The official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Peyton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike Rice, Dante Gomez on this Reaction Monday. A lot to get to. College football. Been a rough year for the CU Buffs, hasn't it? 4 straight losses, 6 of their last 7 after starting the year 2-2. And the Buffs are now 3-8. And the latest loss, as Dante was celebrating when the show began, I mean, he was really fired up when I got here tonight. Just giving you a little hard time there, DG.
I got the Sun Devil on my shirt right now, too.
You do.
I had to let my guys know because, Drew is a buff. Phil's obviously a buff. And then Zach, for no reason at all, decided to text in our show group chat that he had bet on the Buffs. So it was me versus everyone else.
Okay, well, I imagine you put a little wager down for your Sun Devils, right?
I did.
Okay, good. I mean, that's great. I will say my alma mater is now also among the schools looking for a coach, my Cal Bears, and I don't often call for coaches to lose their jobs because there's a human element which I just can't get past. We know that wins and losses are a part of it. Cal needed a new head coach, so we'll just put it that way. It'll be interesting to see. By the way, one of the guys, I was telling Zach this earlier, one of the guys who is getting a little bit of buzz in the Cal coaching search, now again, this is early, is Sean Lewis, the head coach at San Diego State, who was sort of unceremoniously dropped by Coach Prime and the Buffs. Interesting, and Coach Lewis has got those Aztecs rolling at 9-1 now, so it'll be interesting. The carousel is starting up, and starting up earlier because of the timetable of the offseason calendar and all. But on a scale of 1 to 10, your concern level for the Buffs program as a whole, not just the wins and losses, but the whole operation, Dante, is what?
I'm going to go to 7. I really think it's time to be figuring some stuff out there in Boulder. The attendance was down at the game I was at. Obviously, the Thanksgiving break and the students, I'm sure many of them flew home early potentially to not be here this last weekend. Played a factor in that, but it was a low attendance for a program that if they had one thing, it was at least hype. It was at least Deion Sanders, pumping that stadium full of people and, riling up Boulder to really rally behind this program. And if you're losing that aspect of it, you're not winning on the field. You're having players decommit too. I think it's time to really look in the mirror and see if Deion is the guy to be the future of this program.
Well, he's not going to go anywhere. I think that's safe to say, unless he retires or goes to another school. I don't anticipate either happening, and I'm not saying I'm pulling for that, but I have some real concern too now. This loss pushed it to a place where I started to get uncomfortable for the program in general. Do I think he can turn things around and get back first off towards respectability, and then beyond that, I think the ability is there. I do. We know it's not a normal setup in that his X's and O's are going to carry it, but as a recruiter, as a guy who can lead the program, yeah, I think he can. But are there real concerns that this loss in particular made me look at just more squarely? There are, Dante. There are. This is not a group of players that has bought in. Clearly, we've heard that there are things that Coach Prime knows need to be fixed. I'll trust that at face value, and I'll also at least say, trying to fix them all now is really not the right time. But I'm starting to at least say, I hope they can get fixed, because if they don't, CU's got a real problem, a financial problem.
Oh, absolutely, especially the money that they've invested into Deion, his coaching staff. I'm sure they've upped the money that's going to the players, probably the facilities, the flying, and just the kind of lifestyle that the players are able to live. I think financially it's a big question mark going forward. And then to you about the I think Deion, you didn't say we need to give him some time, but he is coming out and saying, hey, give me some time to figure this out. We will figure it out. To that I say, Deion, how long of a leash would Deion have for a guy like that? I mean, we've seen him pull the plug very quickly.
Well, the answer was when he came in, he had his Louis, and he was showing kids who were here the door.
Exactly. So he had to bring in his own guys. And then he, moved on from Sean Lewis fairly quickly. He moved on from Caden Salter this season fairly quickly. But you, all of a sudden, you get the long leash. Where's your long leash for these other guys that, are beneath you?
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. It's disappointing, to say the least, and I'm being kind. I think we all know that. We all expected way more, and to even fall this far short of a bowl game, which to me is the lowest possible bar, I think, for any program that thinks of taking itself seriously, is disappointing, to say the least. From the 1188 on the RamosLaw.com text line, how did anyone actually think Deion was going to create anything but a flash in the pan? He's a used car salesman. I'm not ready to go that far, but I think that kind of criticism, when you're in the situation that the program is in, is fair. Do I root for something else? Absolutely. Am I hopeful? Absolutely. Am I as convinced as I was before? I'm not. And so it'll be interesting to see. I want to touch on CSU here as well and get to a text from our friend Mike, who is at the 2153 on the RamosLaw.com text line. A few weeks ago, you were talking about the CSU football coaching search. I didn't think they could talk to a real coach. I found the guy. Mike says former Northwestern coach Pat Fitzgerald, who has been a volunteer assistant for his son's high school team in the northern suburbs of Chicago since he was fired from Northwestern. The 2022 season went off the rails. They were 1-11, and then the next summer, right before the 23 season, there was the hazing incident. There was evidence that he knew about that and didn't do anything. So Pat Fitzgerald, though, 17 years, 110 wins at the helm of Northwestern. Would that – I have no idea if CSU – would entertain the possibility of hiring Pat Fitzgerald, but I did say a few weeks ago that my preference would be for the Rams to get a guy who's got experience, hopefully at the Power 4 level, if not as a coordinator, assistant, a guy who's got some pelts on the wall, so to speak.
I think Pat Fitzgerald would be a great hire by CSU. I don't know if he would feel the same way. I think he might be looking at maybe a Power 4 job right off the bat, getting back into coaching after Northwestern. He did such a good job at Northwestern. A lot of people say, he did more with less out there because, given that conference, to be able to be that successful with a school like Northwestern, who's traditionally not a fantastic football school, has some limitations as far as recruiting goes as well. So I would assume he would, if he's going to get back into coaching, I think it would be at the Power 4 level right away. I think that's the kind of cachet he has in the sport. And I think a lot of people have moved on from the hazing incident. And I know he was cleared of some wrongdoings that came out within the last couple of weeks here as well. So I'd assume that he might be almost too big time for Fort Collins and CSU, but I think it'd be a great get for them. I have another name. It's funny that we got that text because I was mentioning it to Zach, one of the commercial breaks today, that I know the guy that CSU should go after.
Wait. You've got the guy for the Rams?
I've got the guy.
Who's the guy?
Colin Klein. And name might sound familiar. He was a Heisman finalist in 2012, I want to say, the year Johnny Manziel won it, for Kansas State quarterback. fantastic numbers at K-State, an all-conference kind of guy. He was the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach at Kansas State as well during their run of being pretty good here the last couple of years. This season, he joined Mike Elko down at Texas A&M. Texas A&M's having a fantastic season, and Kansas State's not really having a great season this year, so you could see some correlation there between when he leaves, Kansas State goes down, he shows up at College Station for Texas A&M. They've been rolling this season, so he is from Loveland as well. I think that's huge, has some ties to the area, northern Colorado. So I think he's ready for a head coaching job. I think CSU would be a home run hire for him. He's young, can relate to the players. He's offensive minded. We talked about Dion in terms of he's not, an X's and O's guy. He's more of that recruiting type. Colin Klein obviously has a little bit more of that X's and O's background to him as well. And he's one where maybe he's super successful early and doesn't leave because he does want to stay in northern Colorado. That's where he's from, and he wants to raise a family there, whatever it may be. I think that would lean towards CSU having a better chance of keeping him in town if he is successful, because no disrespect to Colorado State, but there's somewhat of a stepping stone job in terms of if you're very successful there, a bigger school is going to come and poach you. So I think he checks all the boxes. I think he's ready, and I'm calling it now. He's the Rams head coach in 2026.
So you're saying that's the guy?
That's the guy.
That not I like them or I think he'd be a great candidate. You're saying that's the guy they're going to hire?
Yes. I think it just makes too much sense on both sides. Wow. I don't know. Did you see any flaws with the plan I laid out?
No. Dante, you've got me at the very least intrigued. I'd have to think about some of the other names just to do my due diligence. No, but in all seriousness, you look at his resume. Mike Elko might be, he's certainly one of the most underrated coaches in the country. This guy can flat out coach, and what he's done at A&M, and to be under him and to have the kind of success that they're having and be a part of that, I think is a feather in Klein's cap for sure. Had great success at K-State, and it's the piece of coming home too. So you get to be a head coach. You're taking over a program that theoretically you're at least familiar with and you probably have some affinity towards, I would think. I don't know for sure. My question, though, is the same as what you said about Fitzgerald. Because of his resume and the profile of both K-State and A&M, would Colin Klein think that he could land a head coaching job at a school either in a better place, and I don't mean geographically, I mean just where the program is? CSU has got all kinds of issues they've got to figure out, and they've got to rebuild the roster, and they've got to rebuild the culture. That's where it is. So does Klein think, I think I can do a little better than that in terms of where I land for my first gig?
I think that's a real question to be asked because we've seen a lot of that happening. The first head coaching job Dan Lanning had is at Oregon. He was the Georgia defensive coordinator, led the best defense in the country that year, and he's been very successful at Oregon. Another one you can point to, Kenny Dillingham. His first head coaching job is at Arizona State. He's been very successful at the Power 4 level. Before that, he was just a coordinator at Oregon, and then other stops as well. So we've seen a lot of guys make that jump from coordinator at a Power 4 school where they're very successful to another Power 4 school and go on to be very successful as well. Colin Klein can be the latest of those coordinators, so I think that's something to look out for. But if you're trying to get him maybe a season ahead of time before he's due for one of those jobs, it might have to be this season. I think it'd be a great hire for CSU, but that is definitely something to worry about, that he could be looking at a Power 4 job immediately from this stop at College Station.
So what you're saying is, if I'm hearing you, Klein to the Rams, Fitzgerald to the Cal Bears.
Maybe. You're putting the Cal Bears one in there, but I think it'd be a great hire for Cal as well, I guess.
There you go. All right, back to the NFL. Some things we've got to clean up. The Browns are going to keep the Sanders train rolling. That's next.
Has Sean Payton successfully rebuilt the Denver Broncos?
This dude is undeniable. Resetting the culture, redefining the standard, picking the ingredients to cook the meals with. That's Sean Payton? That's the head coach.
That's the head coach, and Sean Payton's a damn good head coach.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
This is Jeff for Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg. I've been a patient of Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic for over 10 years. I noticed that I was really tired. I was lethargic. I didn't sleep really well, and I was overweight. My waist was 4 inches over what it should have been. It was really difficult for me to lose the body shape I didn't like. And of course, my marriage, yes. No man in their 40s wants to have low libido in their marriage. I'm really thankful for this therapy because it just makes me feel the man I want to be, active, at home, everywhere. If you're feeling like I was, call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today and get checked. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Thanks, Greg. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey guys, your boy Steve here today by my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if you can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan brought to you by Flanagan Law.
Tune into Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's Reaction Monday, powered by Silter Har Motors. Here's Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike Rice, Dante Gomez. Reaction Monday. The Cleveland Browns won a road game. Now, the asterisk is it was against the Raiders. But Shedeur Sanders made his first NFL start. And, of course, that is dominating all of the talk today around the country, or a lot of it, maybe not all of it. What'd you think, Dante, from what you saw?
From Shedeur?
Yeah.
I thought it was impressive. Fifth round pick. You don't really have crazy high expectations for a guy like that. Able to go out, win the game for the Browns, and the Browns aren't particularly a great team either. I know they weren't playing a good team in the Raiders, but they were underdogs technically in the game too. I think they were 3-point underdogs in that game. So it feels like the team was able to rally around him, which I think is a huge part of sports in general, especially as a quarterback, being able to be believable in the huddle. Phil talks about that all the time, where he had a quarterback in, I think it was when he was playing with the Seattle Sea Dragons, that he had asked him like, oh, what happened? Why didn't you end up making it in the NFL? And the quarterback had went back to him and said, the coaching staff said I wasn't believable in the locker room. So I think he already checks that box already. I think guys want to play hard for him. And I think he's a great thrower of the football. I think obviously he has some stuff to work out. He holds on to the ball a little bit too long, but I think he throws a pretty ball. And I think he has the persona to be an NFL quarterback.
Well, yes, for sure on that. But do we really know? And I just want to bring this up. I don't really know that guys want to play for Shedeur. I don't.
You don't think his teammates like him?
No, I didn't say they don't like him. I just say I don't know. I think it's too early. I don't know if guys know if he can play or not. Now, I think you probably, just like there are fans and NFL fans all over the country that are going to offer their opinions, which will differ widely on whether or not you like the fact he's so brash, that he's talks the way he talks, that he does what he does. And I'm thinking of the draft room that he built and all the dollar sign logos and all of the rest. A lot of people don't like that. That's not my thing. I think it's too much. I think it's overdone, especially when you haven't, pardon the pun, earned that. You haven't earned it with wins and with good play. But if I'm in that locker room, I don't know if the kid can play. Here's what I know: that it's his turn to see if he can, and I'm going to go bust my tail to hopefully help him be successful, because that means our team is going to win or have a good shot to win. So I wouldn't go so far as to say guys like to play for him, because I don't know that that's true.
No, I think that's fair. I think you're right on that. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit,
Sure.
But it seems that his teammates enjoy when he does well. I guess that's maybe a better way of putting it. So I'm excited to see what happens down the stretch here, and it feels like it's his job as long as they keep winning. I don't know how long they're going to keep winning, so I think we could get right back into this, controversial topic where it's, and they're going to put Dylan Gabriel back in at the starting quarterback. It was just a concussion. That's the reason Shedeur came in relief the other week. That's the reason he started this week as well. So I think there's a scenario where he loses next week, and it's, your opportunity for this season at least is gone. But I think he put on some good tape. And again, I think it's really hard to play quarterback in this league. We saw Bo Nix, a first-round pick, come into the league, struggle early in his first 4 weeks. So the fact that Shedeur was able to go out there and look as, I'll call it as comfortable as he did, I think that's a really good step in the right direction for him. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at the schedule, they've got the 49ers who've, had some defensive trouble They're not the greatest defense, not like what they used to be. That'll be this Sunday home game, home to Tennessee, at Chicago, home to Buffalo and Pittsburgh, and then at Cincinnati. So some games against teams that haven't exactly lit the world on fire. We'll see how it goes. You know what? I'm not a big fan of the way he talks, but I hope the young man does well. I do pull for him as a player. Just wish he wouldn't talk as much. But that's just me. A lot of people like that. A lot of players, a lot of teammates like that as well. Dante, always fun to be back with you. Thank you.
Absolutely, Mike. And I'm excited we get some Broncos football back.
Yes. Sunday night football at the Commanders. For Dante Gomez, I'm Mike Rice. Thanks for joining us. Denver Sports tonight on 104.3 The Fan.
The Broncos and Will Lutz have agreed to a 3-year contract extension. With 8 game-winning field goals in his last 3 seasons, can one of the most clutch kickers in the league help push the Broncos closer to the #1 seed in the AFC? Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Philip Lindsay here. And last year, I went a little rogue and dropped a discount code for my friends at Hermes Worldwide. And you guys used it so much, they almost got mad at me. Well, I'm feeling a little spicy again this season. So I'm bringing it back, baby. You can get 30% off your ride to the game with Hermes Worldwide for your entire season. All you have to do is mention the code PL30. Again, mention PL30 when you book your luxury transportation to Empower Field. And contact Hermes Worldwide at 303-577-7600 or visit ridehermes.com/DenverSports. Go Broncos!
Pros, it's your time to be rewarded because at the Home Depot, we know that in your business, every minute and every dollar counts. Make the most of your member rewards and exclusive benefits that help grow your business and maximize savings as you wrap up your projects for the year. Remember, your Pro Extra spend resets on January 1st, so keep going until December 31st to unlock your next perk or tier level. Visit homedepot.com/Pro Extra to view your progress and make the most of your time before the new year.
Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. Are your bills keeping you up at night? Imagine using your home equity for a financial reset that helps you to finally get ahead again. At Cake Mortgage, we get it. Life's expensive. Insurance, groceries, and high-interest credit card debt. That's why we created the Cake Fast Cash Home Equity Program. Turn your home into your ATM without touching your existing mortgage rate. Cake Fast Cash is fast. Many clients close in 2 weeks, so call Cake today and pay down high-interest cards, free up cash, or fund home upgrades, and you only pay for what you use. Cake Mortgage. Your fresh-baked fast cash loan is ready to enjoy. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com.
Gobble, gobble, gobble! Gobble, 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 gobble! Oh, man, I do a terrible turkey impersonation. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs from Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040. Those of you that listen to the Dan Jacobs Show know that I just love the holidays. But I also know these holidays in particular can be really tough on a lot of people, whether it's the government shutdown, inflation, the economy, whatever it is, or some people just have a hard time during the holidays as it is every single year. It's just a hard time of year for them. As always, we want to be here for you. If we can help out with a little bit of that with free food and groceries, we would love to have you any first or third Thursday of the month. Come on out to Eastern Hills Church at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road. We're even doing smoked ham and turkey this month in honor of Thanksgiving. So if you need it, anybody, no questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. 4 to 6 p.m., Eastern Hills Community Church, every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids are going to grow, new memes will come out, but also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Well, thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most, that finds and fixes any issues before you even noticed them, it's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices are going to be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings attached. So even though your kids will grow up and you still won't understand what 6-7 means, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
The Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth podcast is brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for the next 5 years guaranteed. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. Week 12 concluding on Monday Night Football. It's the 7-4 Niners and the 6-5 Panthers in Santa Clara. Hasn't been the cleanest of starts for both sides. San Francisco up 7-0, 8 minutes remaining in the first half after forcing a punt and taking over possession. Brock Purdy leading an 8-minute, 43-second drive to begin the day, longest of the season for San Francisco, but also throwing a couple of first-half interceptions. One that set up Carolina with goal to go. Bryce Young returning the favor with an end zone INT. Young just 2 of 4, 9 yards, and that pick. Purdy 10 of 14, 61 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2